Howdy folks, Kirk, Dan, and Jay here with Kirk Giordano Plastering. Today we want to show you something kind of difficult. How to match this finish here. Now this finish is a real drag. That one's even tougher. That's a swirl finish. We're in a courtyard and they got a lot of fancy finishes that are difficult to match. What the homeowner asked, he said, hey Kirk, they had a new sliding glass door put in, and the other one had a real bad patch. It looked like shit. And so he says, can you fix that texture around that? I said, well, we could break it off. So we broke off the texture, broke it back a little far, and put this blue weldcrete, because we're going to try to skim from here to here to give it a better texture than what they had. Now this particular texture is mighty difficult. You guys might say, oh, Kirk can match it. I usually match the majority of textures, but this one here, it always seems to beat me up. So what we're going to do here is, let me get in a good position. I'm going to first fill this up here, and the stucco we're using is Portland cement, and we have Luminite. What's Luminite? Luminite is an accelerator. It's an accelerator for any kind of concrete, any kind of stucco. And once I get it to where this is all scratched, meaning, let's see here. Once I get this scratched here, what we're planning on doing is skimming this face here, because it's really difficult to get a good tie in right here to here. I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second. Get some more mud out of this bucket. All right. Get in there. And because we have Luminite in this, it's going to set fast. Maybe I've had it set fast enough, guys, where I haven't even got done with the bucket and it is set. All right, now what I'm going to do is just fill in this top, and I'll show you how what I would recommend if you guys say, gee, I want to fix a texture that was done poorly to begin with. It's a lot easier to take it corner to corner. And how do you take it corner to corner? Well, I'm just showing you how we are getting the first coat on. Jay's going to actually, or probably, show you how to do this finish, because I'm not that good with it. I can do a lot of finishes, but this particular one kind of beats me up. So I'm skimming this. All I'm doing is I'm skimming it now. Oh, sorry. You're in a bad position. Get out of there. And again, because I have Luminite in this, it's setting fast. Whoop, oop. Now here's another thing, that when you're trying to oblige somebody and you say, okay, I'll give it my best shot to somewhat, you're in a bad spot there, tie in. I'm just putting a scratch on this now, and you guys might say, it looks like you're brown in it. It's an illusion, guys. I'll show you one more trowelful and explain why we're doing this. Okay, just a little bit of mud. Bad spot down there, Dan. Okay. Now I'm going to do this to the other side also, and it will adhere to this painted surface by the weldcrete. The weldcrete is a bonding agent. The bonding agent is blue, but you guys don't have to use weldcrete. I use weldcrete because they sell it at the professional plastering yard. you guys could use Quikrete. Quikrete wrote the book on stucco. Now, because Jay is going to respread this whole thing, I'm just going to put some scratch lines in it because I'm not sure when this is going to set. It should set in about a half hour, but it might be 10 minutes. Anyway, when he puts his next coat over that, he'll match this right here. Here I'm going to take up, there I'm going to take to the wall. I'm going to knock out these posts. We'll see you in a minute.
All right, folks, I get to show you the fun part in a really challenging area, both to texture and to film. You can see I got a little practice here. Why do I do that before I texture any? Well, I always do that. I always want to try and mimic what these folks did. What they did, starting at the bottom, they layered up like shingles. I can see their trowel marks, and what we want to do is match it as best as we can. So we get our trowel, and I don't want to take a big, full trowel full, because then I'm going to drop a lot. Take a little and start at the bottom. And I want to make sure I'm pushing hard enough to get a little bit of the mud to squirt out of the bottom or the sides. And we're just going to shingle our way up. Now, is it going to be perfect? If you've watched any of our videos before, you've heard my dad say that everybody has their own fingerprint while texturing. If me, my dad, or Dan, who's using the camera, we could all do the exact same texture next to each other, and the three of us could pick it out in a heartbeat, because you can see it. When you see it every day, when this is what you do, it becomes pretty obvious. So that's pretty good. Then I can do this front, start at the bottom, and I want to stagger them just like they did, so it's not all uniform. We want it to look a little more inconsistent. It's not like bricks, it's not like cinder blocks, it's stucco. Now, why isn't my dad or our dad doing this on video? Because it's hard to turn off the skill. When you're so good at making things true and plumb, he always, or not always, but often has to have one of us younger guys do these inconsistent textures because it's hard to turn off. Now I'm gonna, hey, we've got to have some use, so that's what we're here for. I'm gonna try and texture down this one, but it's hard reaching this way. Let's see if I can do it for the video. Now you can see these scratch lines that we put in that coat, which is good, because if we tried to do this over a very soft base, it would indent way more than they have, and it wouldn't match. Now I think I'm going to fill this key here first, because I'm getting a little bit of dropouts. Now, I'm going to give one more shot. This is not really a good area to film, but what we can do is get this all finished, and I have one little spot on the bottom. I can try and show you guys again. I don't have as many stories as my dad, so it's a little harder for me to sit and bullshit while I'm plastering, but hopefully this gets the point across. Now, if I could do this in front of my body the way that I would prefer, I'd probably drop a little bit less, but who cares? I made this mud a little soupier than what we used before, because again, I want it to kind of splash or squirt through the trowel marks. And I see I'm going a little smaller than they did here, so I'm going to clean this up. I can smooth it out and try again. And I should fill this just to make my life easier. Alright, now that's pretty close. At least as close as I can personally do with this video. Now I've got to get my whole body in here and block it.
All right, guys, there's the old saying, rebuilding a house is much more difficult than building the house. That's what we had here, trying to match all these weird finishes. Anyway, these guys did the majority of work. I'm just here to clean up and watch them and make sure they stay busy.
He gets to do the fun stuff.
I can do textures all day long. I've done thousands of them. Some take me a lot longer than others, but we end up getting them. This one, I'm not too good at, but anyway, these guys are. My name is Kirk. Jay. Dan. We thank you guys for watching, and as usual, we'll see you on the next one.